live by my very first Facebook live post by myself, although I do have a student with me. I've got Marilyn here to help because we're going to talk about Artista this morning. So if you can see this and you'd like to interact, please say hello and tell us where you come from. That would be really lovely to know who's watching us. And if you've got any questions, by all means, please let us know what they are, because I absolutely adore Artista Soft. I've been modelling with it, I discovered, for over 10 years, which is quite amazing. Oh, it's good. We've got 9 people watching us, Marilyn, so we're doing all right. It's very encouraging. Thank you, everyone. But do say hi and where you're from. Got the first person saying hi. I can't pronounce your name, I'm afraid. I'm ever so sorry. But hello and welcome to the very first Facebook Live from Lindy's Cakes Facebook page. This is my little cake topper, as you can see. This is one of the ones I've made. I'd lift it up again. There we go. If you've got any questions, please do say hello and tell me what they are. Thank you for saying you love my work. That's really sweet. Thank you ever so much. I've got lots of toppers to show you, and I'm also going to be talking about Artista. Someone says, please start the online class. This isn't a class as such. This is more about asking your questions. Hi, Julie. Hi, Jane. It's lovely to see you. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? Oh, I like this. What we're going to be talking about is Artista. Now, Artista is a fantastic modelling medium. I'm going to switch the camera around to show you how it comes. And if you just bear with me, because I've got to learn how I'm doing this. So I'm going to switch the camera around. And, oh, here we go. This is a packet of Artista. This is the main one. If you think of this like your sugar paste, and the next one is the deluxe. And the deluxe one, you mix together, about half in half. So you think of the deluxe as your flour paste, and if you're cake decorators, then you'll know that mixing sugar paste and flour paste together, you get modelling paste. And that's what I do to make these wonderful toppers. So they're all made with the Artista, mixed half and half. And I'm using colours to colour the paste, and we use pigments to do that. And I've got some here. Now, if you're familiar with the colour wheel, you'll know that these three, which I'll get in front of me, we've got the yellow and the red. Oh, there, we're back again. Sorry about that. We lost our connection. That's always a problem with going live. And the blue. So from those, I make all the different colours. Now, we have a wonderful colouring chart. Marilyn, would you mind passing me the colouring chart? And then we can show everybody what we've got. Now, with Artista, you can also buy this wonderful mixing chart. And the way this works, okay, Kim, I understand the question. Half and half, you're mixing half Artista, which is like your sugar paste, and half with the deluxe, which is this one. There we go, get it there. That one, which is like your flour paste. So you mix the two together to make a paste which is like modelling paste. I know they call it air dry modelling paste, and it does, but you need to mix the two. I found from experimenting that the 2 and 2 together make a perfect modelling medium. So going back to the colours, this is the chart, so it tells you how to mix all these wonderful colours. So you don't have to waste paste by experimenting. It comes with this little contraption. Can you see it's got little circles in different sizes? You see there underneath? That's a good shot, isn't it? Hi there, Josh. Morning. Right, so what you do is you basically put a little bit of each colour in each of the little holes, and then you mix them, and then it gives you these colours in the chart. And also shows on the side, here we are, to make blues and greys, oh, yellow, sorry, and on this side it's got the blue and pink. So it's from that you can make all sorts of colours. Now, if you're wondering, you can use your cake decorating colours, but the trouble with those is that they fade over time. And these toppers, or anything you might want to model with Artista, basically once they're dry, then they'll last a lifetime and they won't fade. So if you use these pigments, it will mean that you'll be able to keep them for a long time. Now, some of these figures I've got over here, I've had for years, because I've been teaching this class, I reckon, for about 10 years. So I'm going to show you some of them close up, just to show you what you can do. Now, I love the little flowers on the bouquets. I'm going to show you another one over here, close up. Now, Marilyn over here is making some as I'm talking to you, so I'm going to show you what she's been up to. So I'll just bear with me, I'll come over this way. Right, Marilyn's making these, and she's rolling out some paste over here. Now the beauty of this paste is it tends to stick to itself rather than your fingers, which is lovely. And what she's using is some miniature cutters. Now these aren't sugar craft cutters, they're ones from some doll's house furniture. Oh, wonderful. Claire's saying, I made her husband a cake topper in a blue kilt December. Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic. And she's joined me live. Hi there. Oh, and Julianne says, good morning. She's been following my work for quite a few years and now continues to inspire. Oh, how lovely. Thank you. It's lovely to know that. Going back to the cutters, aren't these wonderful? They're actually quite tiny. But if you go to and search for doll's house cutters and doll's house miniatures, this is what these are, and they're absolutely lovely. If you tried using your sugar paste in them, they'll get stuck, or the paste will probably get stuck inside, but these don't, so they're wonderful. How are we getting on there now? Yes. Oh, yeah. Look, we've cut out some little leaves, and that was using this little cutter here.
Over there.
And we've got some she's already done, because she's going to be making her bouquet a little bit later. So she's just preparing all the flowers. This is the second day she's with me. And what she's doing is we made the figures off the other day. So this is her figures here. And today we're going to be dressing them, aren't we?
We are, very exciting.
Marilyn, I think it's quite a convert, aren't you, to this medium?
I am. I am definitely hooked.
We've got a question, where do you buy them? Is that the cutters that you're talking about, where you buy them? If so, you have to search online, because I got these many years ago when I first started. The Artista you can buy from us at Lindy's Cakes. I can give you the links later. We stock all the Artista and the chart. We also stock all the other tools I use, because I also use these little cutters, just the plunger ones, to make flowers. If you could look close in here, there's a little sort of rose. I don't know if it's focusing, but that I've made using these little plunger cutters. And I've also made these little flowers on this dress. Now what I love about these toppers is that over time, of course, fashions change, and I get to see how fashions change. When I first started making toppers, sort of over 10 years ago now, I think my first one was my brother's wedding cake, the topper on that. Dresses were very simple. There was no lace, there was no detailing, very simple. But of course, times have moved on, and you've got all sorts of detailing, particularly lace at the moment. But we've got this one over here which is sort of all layers, which was from a few years ago now, but I still rather like it. And just as much detail goes into the back, so I'll turn these round. And you can see the back of them as well. Okay, right, what I wanted to know, any more questions on what I'm using Artista, because it is different from sugar paste. As I say, it's sticky, it sticks to itself rather than to your fingers. It's made of rice flour and potato flour. So it's not edible though, because it has non-toxic resins inside it, but it has been approved for food use. So you can use it on your cakes, although as you can see with mine, I have them on little boards. You've got me back again now. Here we are, I'm going to show you these ones. Now this one is sitting, can you see, it's on an acrylic board, and that's so it doesn't sit directly on the cake. What I found is if you do put them directly on the cake, the surface of the sugar paste melts slightly, so it goes a bit sickly underneath, which isn't pleasant. So by putting them on the little acrylic disc here, you have a wonderful keepsake and nothing gets destroyed at all. As I said, they're air drying, so what I tend to do is, as Marilyn and I have done, we've made the bodies, we've let them dry, and then we dress them the next day, or whenever. You could do it over time. And the beauty of it is that once they're as light as a feather, it's really light, and I send these through the post, as some of you know, right the way around the world. I've sent them to all sorts of places, because I love making them for people. It's such a privilege to be sent all this information about someone's wedding. Now Marilyn's doing it for her son, aren't you? And
I am, yes.
The bride's been very cagey about her dress, so we're having a sort of guess of what we know the colour, we know it's got lace detail, but we don't know much else about it, do we? So we don't. So we're designing a dress for her, aren't we?
We are, yes.
So it's rather fun. Claire, how much paste, how much does it cost, how to buy the mediums, or how much for a cake topper? Let me know and I'll help guide you on that one. The modelling medium itself, connection's weak. Oh, what a shame. I'm hoping you can still hear. The paste itself, I can't remember exactly how much it is, but I know that the pigment's £3.50. I think they're about £6 or £7 for the Artista itself. Oh, we're live again, that's good. So any questions, let me know. We've got Marilyn over here making some larger leaves. I'm going to turn around and show you this. Whoops, Marilyn, let's go around to... She's made some lovely... I love these ones, these are really sweet. She's going to be making into a little posy later on. Is it this one? Yeah, that's this one here. So just reminding you, these are Doll's House miniature cutters. So they're from that world. If you're into Doll's Houses, you'll be familiar with them. If not, just go online and have a look and you'll find them, no doubt. It was actually a student of mine that told me about them, and that's how I came across them, but I must have bought them, I should think, at least 8 or 9 years ago. I'm just reading a question here. Do you use certain amount for head and rest of body parts, individually weighing them out? I don't weigh them out, Joanne. I do it by eye, but these figures, if I turn them around, you can see here, they are more, because they've got very stylised fun heads, it's more like making children, where a head is like a quarter of the body. Because adult heads, if you look at a real live adult, their head's about a seventh, I think, if I remember rightly, of their body shape. But actually, for these, I've done it about a quarter. And I don't know whether it's the video, but it looks like they've been squashed a bit in this. They don't look quite, in real life, they look a bit taller than what I'm seeing here. But I tend to start with the bride, make her the size I want, using the disc. This disc that I'm using here is a 5-inch disc, so it's 12.5 centimetres. And I tend to build the bride first, and then I do everything from that. So I build her body. I've got one over here I can show you. Can you see this body here? So that's how I start. I know that's a second-hand one. I then do the groom. Depending on his size, I model him using photos. I always get people to send me photos, so I've got an idea of proportions, because that's rather important to get the proportions right. Right, what have we got here? Somebody met me about 15 years ago and started making cakes. She's made them ever since, and she lives in Spain. How wonderful. Hi, Kim. That's lovely to know. Becky's asked, is it completely self-supporting, or do you need internal supports? I put internal supports inside, because when it's soft, it's still quite floppy. So I use cocktail sticks and barbecue skewers. So the legs have barbecue skewers, because they need to be longer than a cocktail stick. And if you look over here, my head is on a cocktail stick, and he's got a little bit protruding out. And let me show you over here, this one. And then what we're going to do is Marilyn will put her head on top here. Now Marilyn wanted to put noses on hers, so we did that last time she was with me. Mine don't, but obviously you can add noses. That's absolutely fine. We've got a question: do you attach each part with water? You can do, yes. It does, when it's soft, attach to itself. But if you want to, like, we will be adding arms, obviously, to this figure, and yes, we will use water. And the beautiful thing about these figures is actually you can blend them. Unlike sugar, you can use water to blend the arms in. Now let me just show you this one at the back here. This little lady. If it focuses, let's hopefully, well, maybe if I move away a bit. I've blended her arms in to the paste, so you can get rid of any joins, which is wonderful. I do that on the dresses too. So everything, that's a real bonus compared with sugar. And Julie's asked, does the paste keep well between uses? It does. It doesn't have a use-by date on, because it's not edible. But what I do find is you have to seal the packets really, really well. So I turn them over and I try and exclude all the air. And then I set it round to get me again. And then I basically pop them into a plastic bag as well and try and keep as much air out as possible so that you keep them really nicely, and then pop them in a plastic box as well. But I have found over time that if you're not using it, they can dry out, but what you then do is just take some of the paste that's dried away and the rest of the packet will be fine. It doesn't last forever, but I now live in my studio here is much more moist than my old one. I used to live in a very work in a very dry studio, and the Artista used to dry out really quite quickly, whereas here it's lasting an awful lot longer. I've got, like last year I did a class and the paste is still fine from them. So, you know, it does keep, and you can keep using it. And you can use it for all sorts of things. A lot of people make flowers out of it, which is really lovely. I have had a go, and I've made lifelike figures as well. I've modelled faces with them. The only downside that I can think of really is the fact that it can crack. So as it dries, if you haven't got the, let me see if I've got a crack on it. Oops, a daisy. No, I'm looking for a crack. Have we got a crack on? Oh yeah, here we are. Let me show you. This is my head here, and when I rolled it, obviously I managed to get rid of all the cracks, so nothing's opened. This is Marilyn's, because obviously she's new at doing this, so this is her front. And then the back, can you see what's happened? Where she's modelled it and she hasn't got a completely smooth ball. As it's dry, the cracks opened up. We can cover that, that's not a problem at all. What you do is you can let down the Artista, so we'll mix it with some water, so it's like a paste that you could pipe with. Then we'll just paint it over and use a brush, and all those cracks will disappear, so it's not a problem at all. And obviously this guy's going to have some hair, so I mean, if the crack is where his hair's going to be, then that's not a problem. But it's very easy to cover up the cracks, but that is one downside. It does shrink slightly as it dries. Amy, it says your screen's stuck. I do apologise. Hopefully it's rectified itself and you've got back with me again. But this is my first time on Facebook Live, and I've got 35 of you watching, so thank you. It's wonderful. And thanks for all the likes. It's really nice to know you're there. And any more questions? No, it doesn't need baking. That's the question, Jenny. It doesn't. It air dries. It takes a little while. I mean, if I'm doing a 2-day class, what I find is we do the bodies one day and we come back the next day to dress them. You need to let the bodies dry before you dress them, because otherwise it's too soft. Well, you can, but it's better to let them dry. We've left it a few days, haven't we, Marilyn?
We have, yes.
And it's, you know, it's much better. I usually leave them about a week before I post them out, because the core of the bride, she's quite thick, and what you need to do is try and get that as dry as possible, so it's as rigid as possible, because once they're dry, they're completely solid, although they are very lightweight. Does it dry out quick as sugar paste? We've been asked. It's probably quicker, I'm afraid, but it very much depends, like sugar, on your environment. So if it's really moist and humid, then you've got a working time is much longer. If it's dry, and today's a beautiful sunny day here, it's gorgeous. So I think things are going to dry a little bit quicker than they did the other day. So just bear with that and keep everything wrapped up under plastic when you're not using it. That's the best tip, isn't it, Marilyn? That's what we did.
But I find, because I'm doing these leaves and flowers, I find it's better to work with this than the actual sugar.
Yeah, so here's
yes.
Marilyn. Yeah, here we are. You can, hello.
I'm just doing these small leaves for my posy, and although Lindy said about it drying very quickly, I find that it doesn't dry as quickly as when I was doing some last night, making sugar flowers.
So that's interesting.
Because it's difficult to explain. It's lighter, and I find it a lot easier to use.
It's because it doesn't stick to your fingers.
That's what it is. Yes, it doesn't stick. Last night I was forever scraping. My hands were getting hot. My hands are quite warm this morning, but it isn't making any difference because it doesn't stick. That's the beauty of it.
It is, and I think that's why everybody loves it so much, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Do you use separate tools for cakes and toppers, or is it okay to use both? I tend to always have separate, because I have them, Joanne, because I've got lots of tools for my students these days. So I have a separate box with all my tools for my Artista in it. So that's what I do. It's non-toxic and it's made of rice and potato flour. So it's not like cold porcelain where it's highly important that you have separate ones, but I do just because I think it's, it's one of those things. I like to keep them separate, but if you've only got one set, I think as long as you clean well between, maybe you'll be all right, but that's your choice. Okay, any more questions? Oh, someone's saying they love my chocolate fudge cake. Everybody loves my chocolate fudge cake.
Yes, I
Thank
made
you,
it.
Amy.
It is brilliant.
Did you try it?
I tried several cakes, and that is the
That's
one
the one.
holds the the cake, the icing on top of it, and everybody thinks it's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Excellent.
All the neighbours have had some.
Oh, my chocolate fudge is on my blog. I'll put a link up later if those of you that haven't tried it would like to, because it is delicious, isn't it? It's sweet and gooey and gorgeous, and everybody seems to love it. Someone says, I've got an allergy to sugar paste and flour paste, terrible sore fingers after using it, and you'll try Artista. Kim, I think that's a fantastic solution. As I say, hopefully it'll be fine for you because there's no sugar in it, it's just rice and potato flour. So hopefully if the resins are fine and you've got no reaction, this could be the answer for you, Kim. Fantastic, I'm so pleased. It's absolutely lovely to use. I think most people that I've taught over the years are completely converted. There is a slight learning curve, as I said earlier, because of the shrinkage and the cracking that can happen. But it's all rectifiable, and water and a brush makes all the difference. So yeah, give it a try, and thank you very much all for being with me. I think we better wrap up because we've got lots of things to do this morning, haven't we? So any questions, keep posting them and I'll answer them later. And thank you all very much for being with me on my very first Facebook Live. Oh, Etty, hi there. It's lovely to see you on here. I'm about to go now because I've got to go and teach. We've got to get on with making these toppers, but thank you. Oh, everyone's saying hi, lovely. Thank you. I must say bye-bye. It's a shame these little figures can't wave because it'd be nice to get them to wave at you. Say goodbye, but I shall do this again. It's been great fun. I'll choose a topic and I'll come back another day and we'll do some more. So if you've got any suggestions, something you'd like to learn more about, then me to answer questions, let me know and I'll schedule another Facebook Live another time. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.